Hello everyone, welcome to Lockdown Sees World. Today we talk about the story of Deng Xiaoping's visit America. On January 1st, 1979, America and China established diplomatic relations, and Washington invited the Chinese leader Hua Guofeng or Deng Xiaoping visit America. Domestically in China, just after meeting of the third plenary session of the party's 11th National Congress, with the polemic of the practice as the only way for testing truth, the issue of China's opening and reform. Deng Xiaoping was nominally Chinese government vice premier, yet in fact he was the paramount leader in power, and Deng accepted America's invitation. For the past 8 years since Kissinger's secret China mission in 1971, to U.S.-China foreign relations in 1979. Dozens of American leaders, including U.S. presidents, state secretaries, and national security advisors, had visited China, but 9 of the Chinese leaders visited back to America. It is also hard to imagine what the scenario would be if Chairman Mao visited America in person. In 1970, when Mao talked with the U.S. journalist Edgar Snow that he hoped one day to swim in Mississippi River, it was actually a kind of visit to America. He also invited U.S. President Nixon to visit China whenever convenient. Eventually, the Americans came and the Chinese didn't go. Americans fixed on interest rather than formalities, yet Chinese usually do the opposite. This year's Sino-U.S. relations have been in stagnation with very few mutual exchanges, and Americans visited more than Chinese did. Recently, U.S. high officials like State Secretary Antony Blinken, and Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, and Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo, and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer visited China, even absent of China's red carpet reception. China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi visited back to America at the end of October this year, focused on the issue of the two countries summit meeting. Chinese President Xi Jinping arrived at San Francisco on November 14th, 2023, for APEC conference and met with President Biden, with Sino-U.S. relations warming up. As a Chinese saying, it is unfit without visiting back. So at the beginning of Sino-U.S. diplomatic relations, at the invitation of President Carter, Deng Xiaoping, at the age of 75, undertook his 9-day state visit to America. And on January 28th, 1979, which was the first day of Chinese Lunar New Year. Soon after staying at a Blair Hotel in Washington, Deng Xiaoping went to Brzezinski's home for the welcome party. 8 months ago, in May 1978, Brzezinski visited China for diplomacy negotiation, and Deng treated him with a gorgeous Chinese meal in Summer Palace, to which Brzezinski enjoyed and promised if Deng visit America one day, he would welcome him with a genuine American family dinner. And Deng accepted pleasantly. So at the first day of his visit, Deng came to his premise. Brzezinski knew Deng Xiaoping could take some liquor and treated him with vodka presented by Soviet ambassador, joking that it was the favorite of Soviet leader Brezhnev, which made Deng in charcoal. During the feast, they talked about a long process of bargaining and negotiation, and also different voices and challenges to President Carter. Deng was asked whether domestically in China someone opposed against the Sino-U.S. rapprochement. Deng paused and said yes. The people around were eager for the answer, and Deng told them quietly it was Taiwan. They heard and laughed, and marveled at Deng's humor and wisdom. As to Brzezinski, he was born in Poland, and naturally hostile to the Russians, who petitioned Poland for several times in history. He fixed on improving Sino-U.S. relations against the Soviet expansion. In his book, The Grand Chessboard, published in 1997, he said America as the first and the last sole superpower, it should prevent the new emergence of another big power or big power coalition. He warned the biggest challenge to America would be from the alliance among China, Russia, and perhaps Iran. The new bloc is not driven by ideology, but by common interests against America. The scenario would be similar to the previous Sino-Soviet alliance, yet this time China would play the key role rather than Russians. Washington should try harder to avoid this happening in geopolitics, though not in the near future. Unfortunately, it did happen already. With China and Russia got closer and Iran more influential in the Middle East. In March 2021, China and Iran signed a 25-year cooperation plan. The three countries among China, Russia, and Iran finally stood together, making a formidable rival to America globally. For Deng's visit, President Carter treated him as a state head in a welcome ceremony, as though Deng was just a vice premier. During their talk, Deng and Carter recalled a story 30 years before. In April 1949, when Carter served on the U.S. Marine station in Qingdao, China, and the city had been surrounded by Deng's troops. They just missed at the time. As to Taiwan issue, Deng said China would seek for a peaceful solution, yet the means of force couldn't be abandoned. Otherwise, China would be tied up, which might be more perilous. Later, President Carter praised Deng as the greatest leader he had met, and also understood why the Chinese had been one of the most civilized nations in the world. During his 9-day visit, Deng impressed the Americans greatly. In Washington, he went to see Lincoln Memorial and was invited to the Capitol Hill. And many congresspersons were excited to know him and ask for his signature. In Kennedy Art Center, a talent show and basketball performance were presented. And the well-known country music singer John Denver displayed his most popular songs, Rocky Mountain High and Country Road, Take Me Home. And later he came to be the first popular music singer that invited to play in China. The last item was a chorus by 100 American children singing a popular Chinese ballad, I Love Beijing Tiananmen. As lyrics, I love Beijing Tiananmen, where the sun rises, a great leader Chairman Mao, and leading us go forward. After the show, Deng walked on the stage and greeted the performers and kissed the American children. Afterwards, Deng came to Atlanta, Georgia, the hometown of President Carter, birthplace of civil rights leader Martin Luther King, and headquarters of Coca-Cola Company. At Atlanta, Deng visited Martin Luther King's tomb and met with family members. And here he also visited the Ford Auto Manufactory, about 150,000 cars produced annually. At Houston, Texas, he went to see the Jones Space Center and tested a moon landing simulator. When he joined the horse race at the rodeo, he greeted the crowds by waving his cowboy hat, which became one of his legendary pictures taken in the U.S. tour. His last station was Seattle, Washington State. Deng shook hands and smiled with people welcomed him, and his visiting aroused gush of Deng's whole wind in America. During Deng's visit in America, he had also 8 bodyguards, though U.S. government provided the best security protection. And Deng was still in peril a few cases. On January 29, 1979, on the welcome ceremony at the south lawn of the White House. 3 key members rushed to Deng with a dagger in his hand, and he was immediately subdued by security. Deng remained looking forward to the cross with a smile, nothing disturbed. On February 2nd, 2 accidents happened. In the hotel he stayed, just after walking out of the elevator to the lobby, a stranger threw a package to his direction, and luckily inside the bag was only a pamphlet. Deng was very calm, facing the unexpected attack. At the entrance, where he was ready to get on the vehicle, another assassination thrust to him, yet foiled by the security. Deng's visit to America achieved great success and paved the way for the following 10 years of honeymoon of Sino-U.S. relations, until the June 1st incident in 1989. Soon after Deng's getting back, on February 17, 1979, China waged the border defense war against Vietnam, which lingered to almost 10 years. In March 1979, a Taiwan Relations Act were passed by U.S. Congress, 339 to 50 at House Representative and 85 to 4 at Senate. It authorized Washington to remain non-governmental relations with Taiwan as unsupportive to Taiwan's independence, conditioned with the term of China's solution in peace. America would keep on its arms sales, and American institution in Taiwan was established. Deng's state visit to America showed us how national interests evolved during mutual engagement. Times have changed. Cooperation and confrontation sometimes mix together. The only thing that never changes is how to keep national interests. Here comes the end of today's program, and thank you for your joining in. See you next time. Thank you. Bye.